So last time we spoke, I was at the lowest point I've ever been at in my entire life.
Qbik.
Hello humans, I'm glad you guys enjoyed my epic void return to YouTube. It's really dope to be back making content, but I have some things I want to address and update you on since the last time we talked about this. Last time I talked about this, I was at the lowest point I've ever been in my entire life. Feeling burnt out from YouTube and COVID at the same time. I've never experienced burnout in my life at all before, so this was completely new. I've never felt emotions like these. I've never really had to deal with a lot of things like depression and anxiety in my life before. Don't get me wrong, I've gone through a lot of tough things in my life, such as child abuse, bullying, loneliness, among other things, but throughout all of that, I've always been able to look towards the future, follow my dreams, and believe in myself. Those beliefs and dreams are what have kept me from doing things like committing suicide in the past. And those are what keep me motivated in moving forward in my adult life. But man, when I was experiencing this burnout, which to an extent I'm still dealing with, it took away my ability to believe in myself and follow my dreams, which in turn casted me into a deep depression that caused me to lose all motivation, as well as hit rock bottom with things like my diet and my sugar addiction and being the heaviest weight I've ever been in my entire life, which obviously just compounds on the depression. Now, I don't want to depress you guys too much with all the details of what I was feeling and what I've gone through the past few months, so I'm just going to address a few main points about what led up to this burnout and how I'm addressing those issues with changes to my content and how I go about doing YouTube moving forward. So, first issue, I was doing too much. One of the biggest causes of this burnout was the fact I was trying to review as many releases each week as I could record and edit. And I would put this pressure on myself to get the reviews out as fast as I could before anyone else so that I could cash in on those sweet search algorithm views, since everyone would be searching for the releases on release day, obviously, so that they could go listen to them. The biggest thing I've come to realize since taking a break is that my style of editing and workflow, at least with the current state of my computer and my Adobe products, is just not fluid and easy enough for me to be able to just pump out reviews like that, causing me to pump out reviews with less effort and thought and quality put into them, which both the inability to edit the reviews the way I wanted and the pressure of trying to put out as many as I could led me to becoming unfulfilled putting out these reviews, and it took the fun and passion out of reviews, which is the whole reason I started doing them in the first place. It made this feel like a chore and like a social media game, which I was constantly losing due to the computer and software issues and copyright issues. So moving forward, there's going to be less reviews for me each week. I'm going to cover 1 or 2 releases I think really deserve the spotlight each week, and I'll try to do underground releases whenever I can because I think it's the most important to shine a spotlight on those. But one of the issues with doing less reviews is that I can't afford to have as many low performing videos as I used to, because at the end of the day, I don't make any money doing this. Any time I set aside for videos is time away from working or producing. So as much as I'd like to do this all full time, I just can't afford to yet. That being said, less reviews means more effort put into each review. So hopefully better experience for everyone. Now, I mentioned copyright earlier. Copyright takedowns are another huge issue that caused me to burn out. I would spend multiple entire days editing and rendering a review that would then get instantly copyright blocked due to my editing style of letting the songs play all the way out, including the actual wave audio in my review, instead of just using speaker audio picked up on my mic. My sudden death review is a perfect example of this. Although it's up at the time of recording this video, fingers crossed it stays up, I spent days working on it before going on vacation so I could put it out within a day or two of the release. But then it got blocked and I had to spend a whole week while on vacation trying to figure out how to get it back up without having to cut out significant portions of the video I had spent hours working on. And It's only temporarily unblocked because I disputed it. They might deny my dispute within the next month and then block it again. So having this happen over and over with any big label or artist release became extremely disheartening. And it made me not want to put so much effort into my videos if they're just going to be immediately copyright blocked. So moving forward, I'm going to start making 2 versions of each big label or artist review. The first version will be a chopped up version I'll upload to YouTube with just the highlights of my reactions like you're used to from reviewers like Primal and Joe. But the second version will be the full version of the review, which I'll start uploading to my new Patreon, link down below. Which, by the way, I will go more into depth about the Patreon later in this video. I just figured this will be a good way to keep myself motivated to put effort into reviewing big releases, since I know that my hard work won't go to waste due to the people supporting the Patreon. Also, don't worry about the price being too obnoxious. I will have more expensive tiers for things like production tutorials and sample packs, but I will keep the tier for the full reviews just $1 or $2. The third issue and update is on the variety of my content. See, another reason I burnt out actually was caused partially by the first issue, doing too many reviews, which led me to doing the same content over and over too often without a lot of variation. Granted, I did do different content from time to time, but due to the pressure of trying to cover so many releases each week, as well as people constantly hitting me up asking me to review things, which, by the way, I love engaging with you all. I'm so happy that you guys enjoy my content enough to reach out and suggest reviews and want to know my takes on all the latest music. But it does get a little overwhelming at times, because back right before the burnout, I was getting multiple DMs every day of people wanting me to review their music, labels wanting me to review their new compilations, and me being the person I am and being as passionate about music and YouTube, I wanted to do it all, but it was too hard. I was just doing too much. I got so sucked into doing reviews each week that I barely had time to work on music, which is being a musician and an artist is the whole reason I've gotten into any of this in the first place. That's like my ultimate dream, and I didn't have any time to work towards that ultimate dream anymore. And then doing production tutorials. I didn't have any time to do production tutorials anymore because I was so focused on editing these reviews. And I know half of you guys started subscribing to me for my production tutorials, not my reviews. So I started feeling like I was constantly letting half of my audience down because they subscribed to me for a completely different reason, and I was only putting out reviews because there's just too much music to cover each week. And then I also just didn't have time to learn new skills like Blender and filmmaking, new techniques and skills I could use to create a world for you guys to dive into alongside my music, which is like my ultimate goal. Like, I'm here wanting to be an artist, wanting to create something that can bring people together and that can create a little world where we can all kind of get an escape from reality and just have fun existing in some sort of weird alternate alien universe, you know? And YouTube is definitely a part of that. But YouTube is not like my ultimate goal. YouTube is just something I'm passionate about and I enjoy doing, and it's a way to get to my ultimate goal. But I just got stuck doing the same thing over and over, which is reviews every week. Don't get me wrong, I love doing reviews, but I get really bored and unfulfilled doing the same thing over and over with no change or evolution overall. So I'm really excited for this new schedule of doing 1 or 2 reviews a week, because it'll give me a lot more time to spend working on things like music, which is obviously one of my biggest priorities and one of the biggest pieces of fulfillment for me. Making production tutorials, which, like I said, that's like what half of you guys are here for, and also just another passion of mine is helping people out and sharing the knowledge. And then EDM news episodes, which is one of my favorite pieces of content I ever made, is the This Month in EDM episodes. And then streaming and experimenting with new types of content. So the biggest takeaway from this is, moving forward, you can expect a lot of new types of content. I finally feel motivated and excited again to be a content creator, and that excitement has led to a whole new slew of fun ideas. So keep an eye out over these next few months. I've got a lot of cool stuff planned. Now that we've got these issues out of the way and hopefully addressed, here's what you can expect from me moving forward. over the next month or so, I'll be slowly easing myself back into putting out content. Because although I feel motivated again, I'm still a bit burnt out, to be honest, and I'm still dealing with getting my sleep schedule and my weight under control again. YouTube was a huge cause of some of those issues, so I want to make sure that I ease myself back into this slowly and I don't go too fast and then wind up burning myself out all over again. As I ease back into it, I'll slowly start bringing back regular production tutorials, reviews, as well as group reviews. This month in EDM episodes, which is some of my favorite content I ever made, listening party streams, feedback streams, and some new types of streams I'm really looking forward to. Alongside these more consistent forms of content, I will also be experimenting with all sorts of other new video ideas here and there. Hopefully, with all of these changes, I'll be able to return the Qbik YouTube channel to its former glory and continue to pump out entertaining content for EDM lovers everywhere. There is, though, unfortunately, a big change that is bound to affect how much content I'm able to make and how often I put it out. And that, unfortunately, is time and money. See, when I started this channel, it was the middle of quarantine, and I was unemployed and living off stimulus checks and unemployment payments. That was amazing at the time because I could do YouTube and music full time without a care in the world. It felt like a dream come true, honestly. But unfortunately, reality has returned and there's no longer unemployment benefits and stimulus checks for me to live off of. So I've had to return to work like a normal person. Doing so has unfortunately cut my free time in half. And it puts more pressure on me to make money from YouTube and music. So in order to try to get back more time to focus on those two things, I'm starting a Patreon. Now don't worry, I will be dedicating a separate video going over everything you can expect from my Patreon in the future, but I figured I'd mention it in this video as well since it's kind of related to the topic. Over the next year, I'm going to be putting a lot of effort into the Patreon, pumping out exclusive tutorials, dub plates, sample packs, presets, more in-depth feedback streams, bonus content, and plenty more. Supporting my Patreon is one of the best ways you can support my music and YouTube and help me have more time and freedom to create the content we all enjoy. So I'm going to try my best to keep it an affordable, valuable, and appealing way for you to support me. That's pretty much all I wanted to say with this video. Like I said, it feels great to be back, but things will be a little bit different, hopefully for the better. I truly appreciate all the support you guys have given me so far, and I'm honored that you're still sticking around for more. It's honestly a dream come true. You guys have really made the past couple years some of the best years of my life. Yes, I also experienced this horrible burnout and one of the lowest points of my life. But other than that little time period, the past 2 years have been really freaking awesome. And I feel like I've really gotten to experience a glimpse of my dreams, you know, getting to do music and the things you love full time and having a really awesome community built around the things I love to do has just been one of the best things and one of my biggest accomplishments of my life so far. And I'm really excited to keep bettering that and working towards my goals and my dreams. And I have you guys to thank for so much of the progress I've made so far. But it's time for me to wrap this up. So as always, my name is Qbik and I will see you humans again very soon.